is Isabella, and today I will be walking you through an analysis of the London Bridge. This tour is split up into 3 sections. The first section will give you a background and historical context about the bridge. The second audio section will walk you through structural components of the bridge. The final section of the tour will discuss the bridge's current cultural significance. This tour begins on the Thames path between Oystergate Walk and Swan Lane. In this section, we will be talking about how the bridge before you came to be. The bridge that stands before you today is the most recent of many iterations of bridges that have stood in this spot of the Thames River over the past 2,000 years. The first recorded version of a bridge here dates back to the Roman Empire in 43 AD. As referenced in the nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down, bridges at this location have often been the victim of engineering disasters and attacks. The nursery rhyme could potentially be referencing a battle between King Olaf of Norway and King Elther the Unready, who tore down the bridge when he was trying to reclaim the throne in 1014 AD. However, the nursery rhyme is most likely referencing the London Bridge that existed between the late 1200s and early 1600s. If you pull out the supplemental material in Figure 1, you can see an artist's rendition of what that bridge might have looked like. This medieval bridge had 19 pointed stone arches and a tower attached to a drawbridge for boat traffic at the end. The columns of the bridge were so thick that they cut the river's path down to a quarter of its original size and created strong currents at the base of the columns. At the time, the bridge was one of the few connecting points between North and South London, making it a very important commercial hub. Merchants built businesses, shops, and eventually homes across the deck of the bridge. At its peak, there were 138 recorded homes and businesses. However, as the rhyme suggests, this bridge did fall 5 separate times during its 600-year lifespan. On several separate occasions, strong currents and melting river ice forced the collapse of at least 3 arches. The bridge also burned down in the Great Fire of London. Despite high casualties, the bridge was hot real estate. Homeowners, renters, and businesses would lose revenue if a new bridge was built too close by, so they pushed against construction. Eventually, another bridge was built near today's Parliament buildings, and the London Bridge's utility decreased. The most current predecessor of today's bridge was built in 1831 by the engineer John Rennie. In the 1950s, car usage was on the rise in London, and Rennie's bridge was no longer able to support the increasing load. So in 1968, the City of London sold the bridge and began to design a new one. Around the same time, an old Army Air Corps camp was trying to be developed into a suburb on the shores of Lake Havasu in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. They were having trouble attracting investors because their property was in the desert and far from any major cities or landmarks. One of the landowners heard that the London Bridge was on sale and bought it from the City of London as a potential tourist attraction for the region. There is speculation that the buyers thought that they were buying the Tower Bridge, a notable British landmark, rather than the concrete London Bridge. As a result, Rennie's London Bridge was taken apart and shipped across the Atlantic to be reconstructed in Arizona. To stay on theme, an open-air mall designed like an English village was built nearby. The bridge also became the subject of several American thrillers and supernatural 80s movies. It is still standing in Arizona today. The current version of the London Bridge was built around Rennie's Bridge and was completed in 1972 with funding provided by the City of London. The following section will cover the construction process and structural analysis of the bridge. To reach the next destination of the audio tour, walk along the Thames path towards the bridge until you reach a plaque on the river wall that reads Fishmonger Hall's Wharf.